Hello everyone, welcome to Eaddy's Craft Room. I'm Hannah Catherine Brand. Today we are going to knock out some scrappy blocks. I am making the Spangled Quilt by Kim Deal. This finishes at 60.5 inches squared, and I am using my Camille Ross Kelly, aka Thimble Blossoms, scraps for this quilt. Many of you know she is a favorite designer of mine, so I have saved all of her scraps in a bin and have been utilizing them to make this beautiful quilt. In case I was just tossing this pattern around while I was talking, this is the quilt. It looks really, really cool. And I actually have a row done, so you can see what it looks like so far. And I believe this has so many different lines in it, everything from lighthearted to dwell. This one's been a lot of fun to make, but it does take me a little bit longer to make a quilt like this. This is actually my first truly scrappy quilt I've ever made, just because I'm not able to cut into yardage in the same efficient way that I typically make my quilts. I have to kind of cut my scraps almost piece by piece sometimes to meet the fabric requirements. So that does take a little bit longer. I've tried to speed up that process by making myself little baggies and then just labeling them, you know, what fabric piece this is and what the dimensions of it are, just so that hopefully it can go a little bit faster in terms of piecing, but it is still a process. I do have some of my pieces done and ready to go. So anyway, it's a work in progress, but I'm really happy with where I'm at, and I want to make some more progress on it because I want to enjoy this quilt. I love the fabric and I love the design. So it's just the best of both worlds. So many of you encouraged me to tackle this one before the end of the year on a previous video I did, asking for your advice on what I should complete next, because the UFO pile is large and I want to make room for new fabric and new projects, but I want to also be wise with my resources and use what I have. So I think Gumbo just went exploring in our packages. Hold on, it's been a while, I think, since you've seen him, so let me get him to say hi. And potentially also save the cleanliness of our house in the process. Here he is, getting into trouble, being absolutely adorable. He's gotten so big. It's so fun to watch some of my old videos and see him as like a kitten, and he wants to get down. But Gumbo, can you say hello? You're so good at saying hello. Okay, he wants to go. Enough delays, let's get into the sewing. I pulled out what I have already pieced just to get a sense of where I'm at, because when I'm working on projects like this, you know, it's easy to put it away and forget where I was. So I did a quick inventory and found that for these types of blocks, I have made 3 of them and I need to make 9 total. But I think I have all of these stars done, which those are applicable to a few different types of blocks in this pattern, but each row is different. So if we take a look at just this final piecing instruction, I've already completed this row. We don't need to make any more of those blocks in this second row here. I'm gonna go row by row just to keep it interesting. Of course, if you're looking for true efficiency, that might not be the most efficient way, but I like seeing something come together, and the coming together quickly piece of it just gives me momentum. It kind of snowballs to finish a project, especially one like this where it's a little bit more tedious because I'm cutting scraps as opposed to cutting from yardage. So with that in mind, I'm going to be making these, I think they're courthouse steps blocks, and then I'm also going to be making these star blocks that don't have the colored or patterned outlines. They're just the background fabric. So I'm going to need 2 of these. Now, what's great about this is I actually already have 2 almost done of this inner star unit. So I'm going to go ahead and put these aside for next time. And then I know here I'm going to need 3 stars. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, I'm realizing that these are also actually a little bit different because we do have some coloring on here, but not here. So we're actually gonna have to put these away as well and save these for another star unit. But I do already have some progress made. So we'll need to make one more of these, and these will go just like this, and then I'll make the appropriate piece right here. So this gives me a good idea of what I have done. Also, I have these 4 patches up here. We'll be using this, and I have 3 of them. So we'll also need to make some more, but that will help me determine exactly what I need to cut to get this row done. The first part we'll be tackling is to make some more of these units. So the way that I'm making those up is by basically taking some different size, different color scraps and making these little, it's almost like strip piecing really. And actually, you know what, it might even be faster if I did strip piece these instead of just cutting them so small, but I do like the fact that you can use your smaller scraps. So strip piecing would be faster, but I'm trying to use my scraps, so I'm actually not going to do that here. But anyway, I am going to, I know I need, let's see, 1, 2, 3, so I need 4 more of these. So that means I'm going to need 8 of these. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, I have plenty. 6, 7, 8. And that looks like a fairly good variety. I might do some swapping out just to, you know, keep it fresh, but actually, you know, that looks pretty good. I think I'm probably gonna keep it as is. So these will be the side units for these sorts of flying geese. So I'm going to go ahead and stack these up. That's a step that has already been completed by past me, so that's pretty nice. And then it's a matter of cutting out the background fabric for these pieces. So I'm gonna dig into my scrap bin here. It's a little bit off camera, but just so you can see, I'm gonna pull out, I have a bag specifically with my background fabric or just some low volumes. So I will take out some pieces that look like they might work and just hold these up for reference. Let's see, that's gonna be a little short. Yeah, it looks like these here are gonna be, well, they might just be just right. Nope, these are all a little bit short. So what we'll do then is I do have a little bit more substantial fabric here because we only need 4 of them just for this step. So I think actually we should be able to get it from that piece of fabric. Now it does have a crease, so we're going to take this, move you over to the ironing board, give this a good press. Nice and flat, and then we'll take it back over to our cutting mat and trim it, whoops, trim it to the size that we need. All right, now that we have all of our pieces cut out, it's time to start actually piecing. So what I'm gonna do is actually just lay these out first, just to make sure I'm maintaining some color variety here. And so there is really no rhyme or reason. The only thing I will tell you if you're making this quilt or haven't gotten to this step yet is to make sure that you're laying these correctly. You do want to make sure that your lines are pointing up this way. That way you're getting maximum, I guess, viewership of all of these different fabrics. I tried it the other way one time and it did not look great. So just word to the wise. So I'll do this and this. And really no rhyme or reason, just trying to make sure I don't have, you know, too many of the same fabrics. So that looks good. Now it's just a matter of creating flying geese out of these pieces. I will stitch these up, press and trim down, and meet you back here. Good shadow. Thank you, Gumbo. Oh. Now that we have our flying geese units done, we just need to make a few more 4 patches. So I already have cut out the pieces I need, and I believe because I'll need 4 for each, that's 8 total, I already have 3 done. I just need to make 5 more 4 patches. I just chain pieced all of these patches just to keep things pretty quick. And now I am just going to separate them, and then I will press them, sew them up, do the whole thing over again, and that will result in a 4 patch. So I'm going to do those steps, and then I will meet you back for the center of the star unit assembly. Now that we have our pieces, it's time to lay this out. I'm so excited to see this all come together. And I'm just checking my pattern to make sure I have everything turned the right way. And yeah, that's basically it for the center unit. So what I'll do is I will treat all of this like rows. I think that's the easiest way to think about it. So I'll sew this as a row, this as a row, and then I will sew all 3 rows together and press. I'll do that for this star unit, and then also do the same thing for this one. And then we'll move into the final little sashing pieces to complete this block. Our star units are done, so now it's a matter of adding these little cornerstones and sashing. So I already have my cornerstones cut out, but I am going to have to do some cutting for these little strips here. So here are my cornerstones, and I'm just going to go in and select. I have actually some good strips that I'll be able to pull from, but the good news is they're all the same size. So I just need 8 of this size, and I am going to get to cutting, and then it'll be a really quick finish to make these blocks. Let's lay out our blocks now that we have all of the pieces cut. So I'm gonna do this right here, and I just did a mix actually of what I'm considering my background fabric. So I'm gonna try and incorporate an even amount in here. Maybe we even do like this, just to keep it a little more balanced. Although I think I only have 3 strips of these, so it's definitely going to be extra scrappy. And then I'll also pull out my little cornerstone units. So we'll have that at each end. And this is just a continuation, which is kind of cool. I decided to do my, I don't know how to describe it, like my feature points all in some sort of green color. So obviously this is aqua, and then this is more of like a true green. And there's different shades of them, but I kind of keep some consistency to this block, or to the quilt in general. That was more or less my decision, and just because in so many of these Camille fabrics, green plays such a huge part in the different range of colors. So that was just one thing I decided to do, and I'm not 100% sold on combining all of these fabrics, you know, just because they're from different lines, so they don't all play into each other. But I did want to use all of my scraps, so I don't know, maybe I would have done that differently if I could go back and start this over, but at this point I'm invested, so we're gonna see it through to the end, and hopefully we'll have a nice pleasant surprise when I'm all finished. So this will get all sewed up, and then I'll do the same thing for the other block, and then I will meet you back here to show you these 2 finished blocks. And we have these 2 blocks done. So that is like 40% of the way done for this second row. So now that we have these finished, it's a matter of making these courthouse step blocks with the stars in the center. So we will put these aside and get to work on these. I hope you enjoyed making these scrappy blocks with me. If you liked what you saw, please give this video a like and comment and let me know what you liked about it, or maybe what you think I could improve upon next time. I'm always looking for ways to grow and evolve my channel. If you did enjoy it and want to see future content from me, I would absolutely be honored if you would subscribe to my channel so you are tuned in for future episodes from Eaddy's Craft Room. Thank you again for spending some of your valuable time with me today, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye-bye.